Sawadikhah and hi everyone, I'm Nilek. Today my friend is going to share with you guys their scholarship interview experience and give you some tips. If you want to be smart and cute like my friend, make sure you watch until the end of the video. Enjoy watching!
Hello everyone, I'm Jasmeet. I'm a Bank Negara Kijang Scholar. I'm currently doing my A-levels in College Lilisan UEM and I'll be pursuing computer science either in the UK or the US. In this video, I'll be sharing about my Bank Negara Kijang Scholarship Interview experience along with some tips that are not only useful for this scholarship interview but also for all the scholarships interviews in general. So, without wasting any time, let's dive right into it. Bank Negara Kijang Scholarship Interview during my year was conducted entirely online and it was divided into 2 sessions. So the first one was the group interview session and the second one was the individual interview session. So during this group interview session, we were divided into groups of 8 people. We started off with a very chill and relaxed ice-breaking session where we were asked to briefly introduce ourselves. We were given very limited time to speak, so my advice for you would be to make sure to keep your introduction as simple as possible. At the end of the ice-breaking session, we were asked to give our opinions on which of the virtual backgrounds were the best and why. We moved on to a case study discussion. So during this discussion, we were asked to discuss among our group members and reach to a conclusion. We were given some time to discuss and we were monitored during our entire discussion by these interviewers. So my advice for you would be that try to be the leader of the discussion, try to lead the discussion, but if you cannot be the leader, maybe try to volunteer yourself to be the timekeeper, because when we are discussing, we often tend to lose track of time. So it's definitely a nice thing to have someone to remind us that there's only 10 minutes left or there's only 15 minutes left for the discussion. But don't lose hope if you don't get to become the leader or the timekeeper, because it does not really mean anything. You can still impress the interviewers by contributing your ideas throughout the entire discussion and then listening to other members' opinions, cooperating with others, and perhaps even challenging their ideas. But make sure to be kind and nice to all of your group members. So once the time was up, we were asked to present our case study discussion to the interviewers and then we were asked lots of questions regarding it. My advice to you related to this case study discussion would be that try to be the middle balanced person. So what is that? Let me explain it to you. Basically, in a group discussion, there's 3 types of people. The first are the ones that kind of dictates the entire discussion and they kind of takes all the time for themselves. They speak a great volume and they do not know when to stop and they don't give chances to others. So don't be that type of people. And at the same time, there's these silent ones. They don't really speak as much and when they are asked questions, they only probably answer in like 2 to 3 sentences. So don't be that group of people as well. Try to be the middle ones, the balanced ones, those who know the art of balance. You know, those who just know how much and when to speak. They know how to cooperate with others. They know when to give chances to others. They know how much is the right amount. Because one thing that bank values is cooperation, and that's something that the interviewers would definitely see and evaluate. So if you are too selfish and you don't really give chances to others, then that would not really look good on you. So try to be nice and kind to others and learn the art of balance. Moving on to the individual interview session. So during this session, you will be asked lots of questions, and these questions could be ranging from personal questions which are completely related to you to course related and finally bank related questions. So make sure to be prepared for all these types of questions. I know for some of us this experience could be a really terrifying one, but try to make it a learning experience. Like try to enjoy yourself and try to learn as much as you can from this interview session. And now I will be sharing some really useful tips with all of you. So tip number 1, research, research and research. Do lots and lots of research, not only research on your course but also on the bank. So maybe try to learn about the bank's mission and vision and try to see if that aligns with the purpose of your life or the objectives of your life and etc. And try to be prepared to be asked the most unthinkable questions. So try to do as much research as possible. Moving on to tip number 2. Prepare a draft of potential questions that can be asked in the interview along with the answers. So as I've mentioned earlier that these questions could be personal or course related or bank related questions. So try to prepare as many questions as you can along with how would you respond to them if you were asked in the interview. So for example, for personal questions, it could be as simple as what are your strengths and weaknesses, or perhaps what are your hobbies, what is your favorite food, or it could be much tougher questions that requires reflection. So be prepared for that as well. And then there could be course related questions. For example, questions like what sparked your interest in computer science? Why did you choose computer science? Briefly explain to us what do you know about computer science. So it could be these kind of questions, or it could also be much tougher questions like they could probably ask you to explain concepts, economics concepts for example, specific concepts. Maybe they would ask you those kind of questions. Or it could be higher order thinking skill questions. For example, they could put you in a situation and they would ask you how would you react to it, or what would you do, those type of questions. And then there could be bank related questions. For example, they could ask you how would you contribute to the bank with your chosen course of study, what would you be doing 5 years from now in the bank, etc. and etc. So try to prepare as many questions as you can. Tip number 3, be confident. Speak with confidence when answering each and every question and make eye contact with all of the interviewers. Try to keep your body posture right when you're sitting. Sit with confidence and make sure your body language is right as well. And be calm and composed when answering each and every question. Even though how nervous you are, try to be calm and forget your nervousness. Just enjoy the process. Moving on to tip number 4. Pay attention to the structure of your answer. For example, when you're answering a question, make sure to not beat around the bush and come straight to the point. Have a flow and structure to all your answers, because that is one of the things that the interviewers definitely see and pay attention to. So make sure to be aware of that. And finally, just be yourself. Be as honest and as sincere as possible. Don't be afraid to show your vulnerabilities to the interviewers. Answer each and every question as honestly as you can. Last but not the least, don't be disheartened if you think you didn't do well in your interview or you didn't get the scholarship. This is just a small part of your life. There are many greater opportunities coming your way. So just make this a learning experience and improve from the mistakes you made. All the best for your scholarship interview session. And if you have any questions to ask me, feel free to hit me up on my Instagram. And good luck!